Welcome to welcome to Class Reach. Welcome to Class Reach. I'm going to share my screen. We have been working diligently to get a new student information system up and running. And this is the landing page for the seminary. It is wbts.classreach.com. And so you should have received a welcome letter from me and Class Reach, or from Class Reach, that gives you the link to log into your account. And so when you first log in, if you did not get the link, you can put your email address in and say, forgot my password, and reset your password. There's no password set. I didn't set anybody's passwords. I didn't make usernames. I just put your email address in the system so that you could set up your own username and password. And so I am going to log in. And so this is the school opening page. On this page, it gives you the toolbar for the different places where you can go. I am logged in right now as an administrator, but because I have dual role, I can click my picture and I can switch to the teacher view. And so in a minute, I'm going to switch to the teacher view. Well, let me do that now. I'm going to switch to the teacher view so that, oh, nope, I want to go back to my view right now. And so for individuals who have admin responsibility or leadership responsibility, this is going to be the landing page. It's going to show them the calendar. It's going to give them a list of all of the people who are in Class Reach. Any school documents that are loaded on the system, the administrative staff will put documents here that you can have readily accessible to you. We don't have any loaded right now. Sister McCoy and Sister Gross met with me yesterday, and we talked about them getting the documents together. But any announcements will be here, and the calendar. Okay.
May I interject?
Yes.
Yes. Some of these documents will include add drop classes. It's important that when students drop classes or add drop classes, that that's reported to the administrator so that we can at least get information out to the teachers. And so there may be some procedures and policies that we might have to include, and that will be new. And we would let all of the instructors know this is the policy for add drop and that kind of thing. Or withdrawal. Students will withdraw from classes, and they have to sign documents. They have to put in documents so that we would know that. And sometimes students drop classes or they withdraw from classes, and we know nothing about it. And when that happens, we do not take students' name off our roster. It's unfortunate for the student because they will end up probably with a failing grade, or whatever assignments they have already completed will be calculated for their grade. And so we try to let all the students know that This is the policy. You have to fill out these forms so we know when you are changing a class, or when you are dropping a class, or when you are withdrawing from a class. And so some of these documents will be there. Is that what you're saying, Reverend Robinson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so I just want to give you a little bit of overview of the actual system. And so on the administrative side, for the people tab, it lists all of the people who are in class reach. I can sort to the left, it says roles. It'll give me a list of all of the students that are enrolled for the fall, at the bottom, the fall 23 school year. I can click off a student and it'll give me a list of all of the faculty for the school year. And it'll tell me who has administrative rights. I can list students by degree program. The bachelor's degree program lists the students. The master's degree program. The doctoral degree program. There are no students in from the certification program. We're still working on that. And the pastoral theology program. It lists all those students. And so you can, all of the students are there. I took the student handbook and I incorporated all of the classes. And so all of the classes have a course number. I know that Dr. Wimbish is working with Sister Violetta to revamp the course numbers. And so there may be some changes later, but they are listed by name. And so on my end, Dr. Cobb, is yours Christianity and contemporary issues?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the leadership.
Okay, I was trying to, let me see. Reverend Bird, you teach church history? And so I can click on a class that's in existence at this time. It'll list a course number, what department it's in, how many credits it is. It'll give the course description. And then under sections, by the academic term in the fall of 2023, Reverend Bird is teaching this class. She has 20 students enrolled. It runs on Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And if I click the colored area, it'll list the students, and Reverend Bird would be able to, on her screen, go in and put the grades.
You had 20 students in there. I think.
No, that was the capacity.
Oh, the capacity was 20.
The capacity is 20.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so she can go in and list the grades of their students. There. And so if you want to enter a new grade, you hit the plus and say new grade, and you can put in the name of, if it's a biology test, church history test 1, and then put the grade or the possible points. The system is designed so that the grades are included through the point value. And I know that Dr. McCoy has a list of the point values that equate to all the grades. And once we have that, I will establish that grade book based on the point values that Dr. McCoy has set up for the school, the grade point values.
I know that we're not all on the same page with the point values. That's what Dr. McCoy said. He's going to correct that. Some of our grade point values, we have like from 91 to 100, a A, or a B, maybe like 81 to 90 is a B. But Dr. McCoy, years ago, Dr. McCoy has established a point grade system so we could come up with a GPA and those kind of things. And so we will be adding that in. For this semester, I think you can, correct me if I'm wrong, Reverend Robinson, you can continue to do your letter grades, but as we go forth, we're going to be incorporating um, uh, these numerical grades so that
Right.
that will go forward.
Right.
But we are working on that.
Right. And so we'll set all of that up as we go forward. And so when you add a grade, you can hide it from the student, or you can allow the student to have visible. And so most points possible is going to be 100 because that's the highest grade. And you're going to say whether this was extra credit or not. No, it's not extra credit. And then what day you entered the grade in. And
So for midterm, because midterms already happened, we need to go in and put a midterm grade in the system now, or no?
I don't think that Dr. Wimbish, are you ready for them to start putting grades in now? I think we're going to start doing that next semester.
Right.
Okay.
Most
problem.
of this we're going to give the instructor, the faculty members, a chance enough to play around with this.
Okay.
And so we are initiating this for the spring semester.
Okay.
But we didn't want to wait till the spring semester to spring this on all the instructors.
Right.
We want them to get familiar with that. And so you, after you get your email and you set up your password, you can play around with it so that you can become familiar with it. So, but right now, Dr. Cobb, what you're doing is fine.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And so we're going to train the students in January. And so they'll have a time to go in and play with it. Hopefully by then their previous grades from their other classes in the previous years will be uploaded, because we're working on that now, putting their previous grades. So when they go in, they can see a class that they took last year and what the grade that they got for that class. And
So
so
there are
we're
going to be
working on
some
that.
glitches and those kind of things. But for the students, we will do this training right before we start the spring semester.
Mhm.
And so they can get familiar with it. But by then, the faculty should have a better understanding and how to maneuver in this particular program.
Yes, yes. And so that's just how you add a grade. The instructor has the ability to put in their syllabus
Mhm.
and lesson plans
Okay.
and homework. They can include handouts, and they can take attendance. Now, some of the information in the system may look like it's for a grade school, because they don't have very many higher education clients yet. The bulk of the clients are grade school, but they are working to make sure that it is accessible to everybody and looks like it wants to be for everybody as opposed to just grade school. So that's why the conduct is there. If you want to put in the student's conduct, you can say that they were bad today.
Very good.
We do have sometimes we do run into issues where the student's behavior is not in line with the student handbook.
Yeah, and you can make a note of it.
And so it's important to us to, as administrators, to address some of these issues. Some of you may have been in some instructor, faculty, student meetings with the administrators because some conduct was not Christ-like in class, or even when the student may have something to say about the instructor. We, as administrators, we get that kind of information. Some things we address, but some things we know the students play a lot of games. And so we don't want to bring upon instructors things that are unnecessary, that we feel, but then then there are, rare occasions where students have to be brought in and talked about it, and we have to go over the handbook with them and say this conduct is not acceptable in the seminary, and show them the handbook where they can be exposed from school.
Yes.
Plagiarism, and especially with we have AI now, and all of this plagiarism. So this is not acceptable. This will get you expulsed from the school with no monies coming back and all of that kind of stuff. So we have to go over with the students again the handbook so that they'll know. And we can make accessible to all of the faculty members what's in the handbook, because there are things that you want to know about the school and about policies and procedures.
Yes, yes. And so if you click on lesson plan, you go and say create a lesson plan. It brings down the menu, and you can tell how long you want it visible. If you want it visible to the students, say you want this lesson plan to be up through December the 30th. And it applies to, it's gonna, I'm in Reverend Bird's class. It should pop up how it applies to those students. You want to name the lesson plan. You can put your course syllabus. And then you can type it out, or you can upload a file. If you hit add a file, what's on your computer should open up your files like it did mine. And you can attach a file to it. You can add a link, this little sideways chain, you can add a link in it, so that if you want them to have your Zoom address, the link will be there. Or if it's a meeting, or if it's a schedule and you want to build an agenda, it will allow you to also build an agenda. Or you can type the syllabus here, but normally you've already typed it and you're going to upload it, and you'll see attached uploaded syllabus for the course XYZ. And it'll tell you how long it's valid for.
And most of us are still using Zoom. We may not have moved into Zoom further to know all of what we can do with Zoom to make the classes a little bit more, exciting. Because Zoom can be, if we don't learn how to navigate even Zoom, it can be kind of boring. I noticed when we first started, the classes that I was teaching and using Zoom, I was bored with myself. I said, this is boring. And so you have to learn how to do different things, breakout rooms and all of that, break out all of that and get to know Zoom. But you can put the link right, as Reverend Robinson was saying, and you'll have.
And if you want a private lesson on some of the things on Zoom, just send me an email. I teach human resources classes for the graduate school on Zoom, and I teach 2 or 3 sometimes 2 or 3 classes a month, and so I've learned how to make it fun. All right, and so that's the lesson plan, and so I do want to cancel. Then you can go in and put a homework assignment. It's basically the same. Create homework. You say what the homework is, or attach a file. You select a category, and you can, whether you want the students to see it, how long you want the homework assignment to be up, the possible points, whether it's extra credit allowed. If you want them to submit it through ClassReach, you can say yes or no. And if you want to display it on the calendar.
You could actually prepare this before the spring semester where you can actually have each session already ready to launch. So when students go into their course and see their syllabus, and they can also see the classes, what data they're on, and whatever homework and all of that. And so you can start working on that. So it'll make it a whole lot easier and simpler for you and the student, because it's already done. It's already done before the spring semester. It's just
Yeah,
like,
and so Dr. Wimbers, if they know what class they're going to teach in the spring semester,
right,
they
right.
can just shoot me an email and I can do what I have to do on my end, because some of the class, if it's a new class that you're not teaching this semester, then I have to put it into the spring semester, because we only have the fall semester up and loaded now. But it only takes me 2 seconds to put it into the spring semester.
Okay, so how early can we do the syllabus and put it in before the semester starts?
If you tell me tomorrow, I can put it in there tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, Sunday, but on Monday.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say,
Yeah.
Dr. Cobb. You can start doing this now,
Yeah.
because many of the classes or the courses that we're teaching is the prerequisite is 1, and then in the spring is normally 2.
Right.
It's church
Right.
history 1 in the fall, then in the spring is church history 2.
Right.
You know,
And so if you know you're going to be teaching 2 in the spring, then I could just go ahead and upload it and set it up so that you can go in and put your stuff in. Sign
Okay.
you as the teachers. All I'm doing is assigning you as the instructor and the day you're going to teach the class.
Okay.
Okay.
Question,
yes.
Yes, sir.
with the grades being, with the class number being changed by Dr. McCoy, would that remove 1 and 2 from the fall and spring? Will they be renamed, renumbered?
No, what we're talking about, the numerical kind of grade, that's, say you give an A to a student.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Okay,
If you said, you just finished saying history 1 and history 2,
right.
will that change from the numerical system, from the 1 and 2 system to a numerical system which Dr. McCoy will be establishing?
Prayerfully it will. I think that, you mean, will it be set up where all the instructor would know what constitutes an A, what constitutes an A minus?
No, I'm
No,
not
he's
talking about,
talking
I'm
about the
not talking
class.
about I'm talking about the class numerics. If you got history 1 in the fall, and history 2 in the spring, will that change with Dr. McCoy's numerical system for the teaching? Will that be history 101, or history 102, or whatever number that Dr. McCoy assigned to it?
No, but they're not going to change those numbers. They're going to just change the course numbers. They're not going to change the title of the course. And so if I go back to the courses,
I don't know, did that answer your question, Wimpish?
so
Not
in the course
necessarily.
list, Ramber teaches church history 1. Next semester, she'll teach church history 2. The numbers that are going to change are these numbers over here, not the titles of the courses. So the course numbers over here are going to change. They're going to be, those are the ones that Sister Violetta are working on now, changing those numbers, not the title of the course. And so it's still going to be church history 1 and church history 2. Is that what you're talking about, Reverend Aubrey?
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
yes.
no, only these numbers to the left are going to change, not the course title. So you can look for it under the course title. Okay.
Now I thought leadership was changed to transformational leadership. They still have it listed as church leadership.
I had transformational leadership. It's
So is there a different church leadership 1 and 2?
that
No.
I added the classes. Here's transformational leadership. I added the classes 2 ways, based on what was in the student handbook
Okay.
Mhm.
And based on what Sister Violetta told me, students were enrolled in. And so Sister Violetta and I haven't sat down together to clean up this system until she changes the numbers.
Thank you.
And so
Okay.
nobody may ever sign up for that leadership. Oops.
The
But
church.
Well, in the beginning,
We're going
it's
to
not
take it out.
active.
We're going to take it out, Dr. Cobb.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not
It'll be,
active.
it
It's
will
just in
only
there
be
for the beginning.
transformational leadership, not
Okay.
church leadership. We're going to take it out.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not active. There's no section assigned to it.
Mhm.
It's just sitting in there because I put it in based on what was in the student handbook.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
In the student handbook, Dr. Cobb, that change maybe every 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
So we know that some courses have changed their name. The course name is the same
Mhm.
course,
Right.
Right.
and so
Right.
we just have to make those adjustments.
Yeah, we just have to make
Admini-
that'll be a part of the
administrative
cleanup
stuff.
process. That'll be a
Okay.
part of the cleanup process.
Okay.
Okay. And so again, all right. So we were at the homework. We did the homework.
Reverend Robinson, excuse me.
Yes.
I need to say this to the master student. Dr. Terrell would be here, but Dr. Terrell is kind of under the weather, and he's not able to be. I talked with his wife this morning, and she told me, I didn't know until this morning, that he was not going to be able to be here to answer any questions from master degree students.
Students or instructors?
Instructor, excuse me. Thank you.
And so and I will, when Dr. Terrell is up and better, I will personally train him so that he'll know how the system operates. And so if you want to, the same thing with handouts, if you want to have handouts, you can put them here. Create a handout. Add a file. When you wanted them to start seeing it. You can put a link in there if you want them to watch a YouTube video or something. You can put the link to the YouTube video in the document, give it a title. If you see guardians, that just means parents. And so you may want to say yes, because it may apply to a student too. And then discussion board. If you want to have an ongoing discussion with your students in the class, you can do that. And so you pick a topic and they can discuss it. It'll pop back and forth. You can tell it whether to enable them to be able to post things on the discussion board. You can pin the discussion to the top of the board so that the initial discussion will stay at the top of the board. And then down here on the screen, it'll say view archive discussions or create a discussion topic, and that'll pop up here.
I didn't see that.
You don't see it here?
No.
At the bottom of the screen? It's pink.
No.
Let me
Do
see.
you all see it?
Yes, I can see it.
You see it?
Yes, it's at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Okay. Do you have your screen minimized?
Yeah, I have mine up. All I see is saved and cancel.
No, it's at the bottom of the actual whole screen. Not in the discussion topic box where you set up the discussion. It's at the bottom of the screen.
Down underneath of there. At the bottom of the page.
The rest of you all see that with their
It's the
Yes,
very
yeah.
bottom.
Yes. Uh-huh.
At the very bottom under the page.
Yes.
Under the box that's open.
Mine don't have it for whatever reason.
Do you have your screen open up as wide as it can open?
I think
Or
I
you have it minimized?
I believe I do. No, I think I do. Let me make sure. Because I certainly don't see what you were talking about. But go ahead. Don't let me.
Okay.
Stop.
And so this will be a dialogue to and from you and the students in the class for that section. And so you can start a discussion. And then again, you can put in attendance. You know, you can autofill present, absent, excused. I don't know what the T stands for.
Tardy.
Oh, thank you.
Tardy,
Thank you so much. Why would a T be? Okay. And so you can do that. It'll populate for the length of the class, but this says view marking since 9/13. That's when the class, oh, I don't know. And so that's why, because that's not when the class started. This week is the 11th through, oh, it's going backwards. So the most current date is in the front and the older date is in the back. And so because it only meets on Wednesday, it's only giving you the Wednesdays for each week that the student should have attended. Okay.
Okay. That's good.
And so the same things that are in this blue area are over here to the left. So you can do it back that way. Okay.
Good.
And so let me switch to the teacher view and see what I'm seeing. I want to hit home. Okay, I set up a test class so that you can see, because I don't teach a class, but I had to set up a test class so you could see so I could see what you see. So when you open up your page, it's going to look like this. And under the term to the left will be the classes that you teach. And you'll have the same access as I did on the other screen.
Okay.
And so I added my cohort, Gwendolyn Banks, as my student for this class. And it gives you the same thing. You have a overview. There's your calendar items will show up here. If you want to see what happened on the 14th, it'll be there. But if you have things on the calendar, it'll show up there. Same thing, grades. The announcements that are on the front page of the Class Reach website that I showed you from my view are showing over here to the right. So the announcements of Class Reach for the faculty, which is on the calendar, is showing to the right. Any events. And so this is what shows on the calendar for starting November 20th through November 21st. November 25th to the right. And so you'll see everything that's on the calendar to the right, right? If you want to, same thing, if you want to add a new grade, you can click at the green arrow, show the categories. If you want to look at homework that Gwen Banks put in, you click on homework. You can sort them by the grades posted, or you can sort by students. And so this is just what you see. If you want to send a message to your students, you click on message, compose, and you can add, or if you want to send a message to anybody, you can add. If you want to send a message to Dr. McCoy, you can just put in the first few letters and all of the Johns will show up, and you can send a message to Dr. McCoy. And so this shows me the messages that I got from there. And you can change to the calendar view. If you want to create a form, and we'll go back to that in a minute. If you have an agenda, there's no agenda items listed for you or for this class. Now, you should not have access in the financial information. That is only restricted to Dr. Henderson and Sister Banks. The data copier, if you have a syllabus in the system and it's not set up for dates and you want to use it again, you can copy it and post it into another fiscal year. See at the top right, we're in the fall of 2023. So the spring of 24, there's nothing there. So you have to make sure that you're on the right term. Okay. If you want to copy some, if you got a discussion going on, they'll show here. And whatever documents you've uploaded, it'll show here. And so because we're still in test phase, there's not a lot of things there. Okay. Any questions about the information?
We got 1,000 questions,
I know.
but we'll work with this.
I want to go back to my admin view.
Okay.
And so I can run reports. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to show. Let me go back. Courses. Dr. Wimbish, what's that class you teach? It's
Eschatology.
no, the one you teaching for
Ross.
yes.
Homiletics.
Homiletics. Okay. Oops, wrong one. The homiletics is homiletics one. See, that's it. You can see that the classes need to be cleaned up. But okay, so Dr. Wimbish is teaching homiletics. And he has 4 students. When I click on Jacqueline Cook, I can see all the classes that Jacqueline is taking. And so what I'm able to do, wait a minute, go back once.
You in the admin or you're
I'm in the admin.
Okay, the faculty won't have that information.
No, but what I want them to know is that they can request some information.
Okay.
And so if you have a problem getting to or knowing who's in your class, something happened, you can't log in, I can do a printout to say who signed up in your class and give them their grade report at the end of the year. So you can say, so Dr. Cobb can say, at the end of the semester, I want to give all of my students their grade report. Can you run it for them? And I can run their grade reports individually for homiletics or whatever her class is, and give them to her or email them to the students for the end of the semester. And so I can customize the report. If I want to give her just a list of the individual students, or if I want to give her a list of all of the grades so that she'll know that she put them in correctly. And so I can give it to her in one list with all the students' names on it, or I can give it to her in individual students' separate sheets.
Okay.
And so I can print them and email them, or I can save them and email them to her.
Going forward in the spring, when you get a roster of people in your class, if there are people sitting in your class and they're not on your list, the instructors need to let them know.
Right.
They need to get in touch with the administrators because they're not on the list.
Right. And so the next thing was, beside that was the grade reports. The next thing is print the roster, and it'll bring up a list of all of the students that are in your class on Monday. The teachers, Dr. Wimbish, from 6:30 to 8:30, and it lists the students enrolled in that class. And so Dr. Wimbish will know. I can let you know if you can't get in, or if a teacher is not comfortable with it, I can run it and send it, or Sister Graham will be able to run it and send it by that time. Okay. And so I just wanted you to see that. Now this green little thing, I don't know whether it shows up on the teacher side. Let me see. Report. So if you need help, or you want to look at videos on how to use ClassReach, you can go to the left, support documents, submit. It'll bring you up to the page where ClassReach has all of the training videos, all of the documentation, teacher documentation, forms, messaging, grade book, data copy, and all the things that we went over. It'll give you instructions on how to do that.
Okay.
Some of them have pictures, some of them have video.
Do students have access to that as well?
Yes,
Okay.
the students will have access to this as well. So they'll know how to operate ClassReach. And so we ask you not to submit a support ticket. We ask you to email me, or and by then Sister Violetta will be totally up to speed. And we'll be able to answer your questions. We'll be able to do password resets. And so we'll be able to take care of those things for you administratively.
And going forward for the spring, there's not one person that we have to contact. It'll be a team. It'll be a team of people working administratively to get some things done that you may want to know. Did I say that right?
Yes, because I trained Janet Gross and Sister McCoy yesterday, and I'll be training Sister Violetta knows some things, but I'll be training her intensively after Thanksgiving. And so we'll all be able to do the same things, because we all have the same access.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. One other thing. Oops, I did that by mistake.
Now, I recommend that you set up your password and everything as soon as possible, so that you can start to look at it and working with it, and have time before the spring semester gets here. That's why we wanted to do this. We wanted to take the time to do this so that any questions that you have prior to the spring, you can contact us.
Yes.
And that's how I found out that my student roster wasn't correct when I went to look at it in the system.
Yes.
So, and that's why I sent a message.
Yes.
It needed to be updated.
Yes, and I'm waiting for Sister Violetta to respond to me on one of those issues.
But one other thing, if Dr. Cobb, if a student is enrolled in your class or in any of our classes, and they don't show up for a number of classes, we don't have the real authority to drop them from that class. They end up with an F or a failing grade. That's why it's so important, imperative for these students to know if you're going to stop a class or withdraw from a class, you need to fill out these forms or your name remain on the roster. And therefore you will receive whatever grade that the instructor gives according to the work that you've already turned in. If you haven't completed the assignments and those kind of things, you're going to receive a failing grade. Actually, there was a time where we let the instructors know any student that 3 absences, that automatically you had a failing grade. But we've been somewhat not so pressed to follow those guidelines. We let the instructor kind of deal with some things because there are a lot of variables that may go on where the student will, if the student does not contact the instructor to let the instructor know why they're not there. It's just kind of unexcused absences, and good that this system has where we can keep attendance. Maybe not all of us are keeping attendance, especially on this virtual stuff. But on this particular system, we can keep attendance. And if you're teaching 2 or 3 classes or so, it may be kind of difficult to know to stay on top of attendance. But with this, we can stay on top of attendance. As instructors, you have the students' email addresses and their name. Dr. McCoy would have us to reach out to these students, the instructor to reach out to these students to ask to see, what they can do. But it's really incumbent upon the student to let the instructors know that, and I convey this to Dr. McCoy and that kind of stuff. And I try to, in the classes that I teach, one of the first things that I say to the students is, this is not grade school. There's a responsibility that you have. And so you need to know, you need to keep up with something and so that we'll know what's going on. So Dr. Cobb or Wimbish, Dixon, all of you, there are times where students don't show up. We just can't drop them. We can't assume that they have dropped the class. If they drop the class, they will go through they should go through the proper formalities and submit the forms.
Question.
Yes.
Why can't we just refer them to the office after three absences?
Yeah, you can. That's what we want you to do. If students, if they are failing, and you talk to them, or if they're not in class, as an instructor, we can't assume that they have dropped the class or they have withdrawn from the class. We just have to say they're still. We have to give them a grade, a midterm grade and a final grade. And that look bad on their transcripts. That's why it's incumbent upon the student to make sure you're filling out these forms. If you're gonna, some students take it upon themselves to withdraw from a class or add or drop a class, and the instructors don't know, the administrators don't know. As far as we know, you're still in that class. Did I address your question? I have a way of saying things and not get to the point.
Oh yeah, but I just don't think the students really don't understand that. They just stop coming.
I know.
Notifications, any of it.
I know. Some of these, most of the students that we have are adults, and some of them have not been in school for years. That doesn't give them any excuse for not doing what they should do. That's why we need to have these orientations with these students and go over the handbook with them and say, this is the procedure. Even when we do that, it's still kind of negligent. Students do not do things in a way that's goes along with the procedures of the school. That's why Dr. McCoy asked us to go an extra mile. And I said, how many miles do I need to go, Dr. McCoy?
And so now it makes it easier. You can just go in the class region and go to messages and email them and say, okay, I haven't seen you
Right.
since X amount of date. What's your status?
Right.
Why have you enrolled for my class and you haven't shown up? What's your status? Brother Stanley asked, so is this entire process will begin next semester? Yes. And no, you do not have to post the grades in Class Reach right now.
Right.
We're gonna notify you when we expect you to start putting your grades in Class Reach.
Right. The grades that your final grades, you will basically still report them to Graham right now. You will basically do the same thing we've been doing for years, report them to Graham. And then Graham will basically report them to Reverend Robinson so she can put it in a timely way. But yeah, report your final grades or your midterm. If you want to report them, the midterms, you don't have to report those. That's just to let the instructors can have conversations and communication with the students to let them know where they are.
Yeah, and you can do that yourself in the grade in your portal under grades or under assignments. Put the assignment in, and then you could tell them what grade they have through there.
And we really don't have that many students in various courses where it's going to be you're going to add too much to your load. Well, you have 2 or 3 students, you can call them, or you can do what like Reverend Robinson said, put it in going forward in the spring. Just put a notation and communicate with the students. We have not seen you. That's like church membership. We have not seen you in a whole year. So we're getting ready to drop your name from the roll. And they would tell you, don't drop my name from the roll.
Yes.
So,
yes.
those are the things that we're dealing with. And I'm open. You can call me or text me or email me and let me know if you're having whatever issues. And so that's part of what I do. And I can take it from there, deal with Robinson or Graham or Sister McCoy, Gross, and I'll take it from there. But I try to stay in my lane. I'm not a good administrator. I let the administrators handle those things, and I do what I need to do. And when McCoy cracks the whip, then I have to get out my lane and do what I need to do.
Just one other thing. In Dr. Wimbish's portal for his classes, he has 2 classes that overlap. So I'd say to Dr. Wimbish, I can say to Dr. Wimbish, okay, you teaching 2 classes that overlap. What you gonna do about that? And so I can correct it in the system. And so I see Dr. Owens has joined us. I'm not sure when she popped in. But if we can either send her the video, Dr. Wimbish, or I can go over with her after everybody leaves. And so is there any other information that y'all want to ask? I know y'all have questions.
Well, you just pointed out this doesn't happen that often, but I have 2 classes that's overlapping because I assume I took on Dr. Ross's class, his homiletics class, because he wasn't able to continue to teach it. As instructors, we do not have the liberty to cancel a class.
Right.
We would just bring in another instructor to take over the class for whatever reason where an instructor is not able or decide that it could get sick. We have an instructor out now. We didn't know that instructor was sick, and people were missing the instructor out of the class, and they finally came to me and let me know. I had no idea. And when we had done our follow-up, we discovered that the instructor is ill and that kind of thing. And so there's some things we try to
All right, you told me.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? Anything else you want to see?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. So, log into the system and play around with it. And so you're not going to, just don't go to, what do you call the guy, Steve Robinson?
The technical support person at a classroom.
Yeah, don't go there. Just, deal with us, deal with Reverend Robinson, and she'll be able to help you to navigate through it if you run into some problem. But play with the system. And so by the time the spring semester gets here, you will have more familiarity with the system and work it a little better. And prayerfully going forward, it will help everybody.
Okay, so Reverend Robinson, if you can go ahead and put in transformational leadership 2.
Okay, I will.
Which will the spring, and then we can get busy.
All right.
Yeah, and then you can delete the church leadership.
The church leaderships. Okay. Okay.
Transformational leadership is not only the master degree program, but the bachelor degree program as well.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so, Dr. Owens, you should have received a welcome email from ClassReach to go in and set up your user ID and password so that you can see the classes that have been assigned to you.
Yes, ma'am, and I did that. Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
great.
How are you?
I'm fine. And so, again, we're not gonna actually implement it until next semester. And so if you have any questions, you can email me, you can call me. I don't have a problem with you calling me. If I'm not working, I'm not up before 9 o'clock.
Good for you.
Right.
It's not every day. No. I'm just glad
Right.
that I don't have any classes to teach until the first of the year. So I'm pretty available if you have questions.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Dr. Wimbish, I'm finished.
Again, okay. So again, I was trying to navigate. I'm still learning this stuff too, and I'm trying to answer questions or comments being sent to me, and I ain't got it yet. I'm working.
Right. Okay.
But I say to the instructor, thank you, sir. Thank you very much as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Sunita.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And
Thank you.
we're gonna work with
Right.
it. Everything actually officially start in the spring semester.
And we'll send out a notice when it's actually up and running.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. You all enjoy the rest of your day, and just
Thank you.
God
whisper
bless you.
a little prayer before we go. God, our Father, we continue to stand in the need of your help and your guidance, and we thank you for blessing us with this system. And now you're not going to do everything, Lord, but we need you in going forward to help us to put our mind to learning. This system is a challenge, but Lord, help us to be up to the challenge. And we give you praise and we give you glory. Bless us in our homes and our families and our loved ones. And those instructors or instructor that who are not well, Lord, we ask your great blessings upon them. And we give you glory. And we say, and we ask this in Jesus' name, we say amen.
Amen.
Dr. Watson is not well.